widespread violence across Mexico, with reports of at least 14 people killed. It comes after the army killed the powerful leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Mencho was the head of one of the fastest-growing criminal networks in Mexico, notorious for trafficking fentanyl, cocaine and other drugs to the US. The cartel also staging brazen attacks against government officials who opposed it. Joining me now is our International Affairs Editor, Philip Tell. Philip, who exactly was Mencho?
Well, I'm trying to think of the best way to sum it all up, and I think that, as is sometimes said, he was a thoroughly nasty piece of work. There was nothing positive about his life. He was born in 1966 in the state of Michoacan in Mexico. He worked his first job in an avocado plantation field, but then entered the criminal world pretty early on when he was an adolescent and surveyed poppy fields for the local drug cartels. Then he left the United States and went to San Francisco, where he joined forces with his brother to get involved in drug trafficking. He was arrested 3 times and then eventually jailed in Texas. And after he was freed from jail after 3 years, he then came back to Mexico. This is during the late 1990s, where he once again joined the drug trafficking world, but after having joined the police force. Then he left the police force to take on a more crucial role in one particular cartel called the Mencho cartel, where he married the sister of the leader of that cartel, which gave him a much greater sway in the way the cartel was run. That cartel eventually broke up, and it was Mencho who went on to create this new cartel called the Jalisco New Generation Cartel back in 2009, which was then taken advantage of infighting in other cartels to extend its influence in Mexico and also elsewhere. So today, it's estimated that the Jalisco New Generation Cartel controls 21 of 32 Mexican states. It also has cells in the United States. It's pretty much represented everywhere in the US, also in Asia, also in Australia, and also in Europe. So we're talking about a massive organization here. And one of the ways that Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes has managed to escape from being caught by the police up until now is that he's extremely discreet. They have this $15 million reward that we've just been showing this picture of, with 3 photos of him. They're the only photos that the authorities have, and they were taken when he was incarcerated last time. So we're talking about photos that are about 30 years old. He's now 59, or was 59 when he died. So he's remained very elusive up in the mountains, never gave interviews to the press, for example, never talked to people outside the cartel. That's why he managed to get away for so long. So this really is a major victory for the Mexican authorities to have actually assassinated such a leading figure in the drug world.
We're running images behind you, Philip, of extraordinary scenes of violence across the country, which gives you an indication of how cartels are so basically part of the fabric of Mexican society. So what exactly is a cartel?
Well, if you look in the dictionary to what a cartel is described, it says it's a group of independent market participants who collaborate with each other to avoid competing with each other, to aim to improve their profits and to dominate the market. This is what is happening in the drugs world with this particular cartel and others. They're trying hard to extend their influence in the drug world to be able to take control of it. Now, you mentioned fentanyl. We'll just go very quickly into that. 48,000 people died in the US as a result of fentanyl imports, most of them coming from Mexico. This is a drug that is fabricated with other elements coming in from China, which are then put together in Mexico and then sent into the United States. This is why the US is upping the pressure on the Mexicans to do something about the drug cartels in their country. And where does the money come from these drug cartels? Well, very simply, they come through fuel. It comes through fuel theft, through extortion, through timeshare fraud, and also, of course, through corruption of politicians, of police and local officials.